unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's pick a card reading is all about the messages that you need to hear right now. So guys, in order to help you figure out what messages that you need to hear right now, I have prepared 4 groups that you may choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So the gemstones that I have laid out today are as follows. We have the Pyrite, we have the Angel Aura Quartz, we have the Amethyst, as well as the Ocean Calcite. But as usual, the timestamps to all 4 groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section by me. So as you guys know, my channel is all about you and providing you with divine messages as well as value. But on the day of publishing this video, the 29th of June, it is in fact going to be my birthday, which I'm beyond excited about. And I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here, for watching this video, and also for supporting me throughout my entire journey. I'm just so grateful to know that I have such a big, supportive unicorn fam, and it just kind of makes my day even more special when I get to think about you guys and the fact that I've been blessed with another year in my life where I can create this content for you. So thank you guys so much for being you. So anyways, you guys, enough with the cheesy intro. Let's get into the readings because we need to figure out exactly what it is that you need to hear right now. So I will be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Pyrite, and to all of my other gorgeous groups. I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Pyrite, and the Pyrite is also known as the Fool's Gold. It is just such a gorgeous piece, as you can see. So it does really glimmer like gold, and it is a stone that is meant to attract abundance as well as prosperity, which may be something that you're in dire need of, and that may be the reason why you ended up choosing this mineral. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what messages that you need to hear urgently right now. So first and foremost, we have Align Your Life as well as the Priestess. So I definitely see you kind of needing to hear that it's okay for you to take charge of your life and align it with what you deem as right, okay? So aligning kind of like your thoughts and your values with where your life is headed is very important for most of us. I mean, just think about it. For instance, if you want to live a life with just causing as little pain and as little environmental impact as possible, the only way you can do that is by living life to a certain standard, to a certain lifestyle. For instance, eating a vegan diet, using public transport instead of a car. Those are just examples. I mean, the list is endless, but one thing that I can see here is that, you know, you just need to hear that it's okay for you to align your core values with what it is that you end up doing with your actions. Don't feel judged. Don't feel like you have to keep up a different status quo that society is kind of trying to lay upon you. That is not meant for you. When you're not in alignment with who you are at your core, your entire body can feel it. Your entire body feels off. And I can see here in the Priestess that you're being called to step up and lead. So you have to be the one that draws a line and says, this is who I am, and this is how far I'm going to be influenced by society or other people. And after this point, it's just not happening anymore. So for instance, you know, regular, or how should I say, standard etiquette is maybe something that you're fine with, but when people are trying to dictate how you're supposed to live your life or try and tell you what's wrong and what's right, that's where you draw your line, group number 1. And it's so important for you to do that right now. You have to hear that. Then we have Come to the Edge, as well as the Fates. So I see here that it's going to bring you to a situation where you feel as though if you take a leap, you may end up alone, which I know seems very scary, but at the end of the day, would you really want people around you who do not agree with who you are at the core, who do not value the same things that you value? I mean, sometimes there's no other choice, especially if it's family, or we're in a situation with a friend that we have been in a kind of connection with for a long time, if you've been friends with somebody for years and decades, it can be hard to tell them like, look, this is not cute. I don't really like how you're treating me. I don't like how you're criticizing the way that I do life, and I wish that you would just respect it. I can see here in the fates that one thing that's really important for you is to not lose hope with exactly those people, with the friends that you've had for a long time, as well as family, because sometimes it can seem hopeless when family and friends just don't get you, because you don't want to lose them or distance yourself from them, but at the same time you don't want to act as though you're somebody else or be out of alignment with who you truly are around them. Then we have the thinker. So I see here that one thing that you need to hear is that it's okay if it takes a little bit of time for you to find a plan and for you to kind of come up with a plan of how you're going to do this. It's completely normal, and you may feel like crying a little bit, you may feel a little depressed during this time, and that is something that we all go through as we evolve. It's all about how you handle it and being gentle on yourself, group number one. Then we have the never-ending story. So one thing that I can see here that you really need to hear is just the fact that breaking out of cycles is possible, especially if you have been dealing with things such as addiction, such as being unable to control your emotions, being unable to control your thoughts. You can break out of the cycle. Of course, it's not easy, and sometimes when you go through a setback, it can feel as though, what's the point? I've tried so many diets, none of them have worked, or I've tried so many times to just focus on the positive, but for some reason, negative thoughts keep creeping into my head. I completely get you, but at the same time, I want you to know here that you have to do everything from a place of love. When you're kind of guiding yourself from a place of I have to or I must, then the incentive is not really there to succeed, because it just feels like you're being forced to do something. It just feels like, oh, I have to do this, but it's not really like a want and love and feeling really excited to do it, if you know what I mean. So try and turn all of the I musts and I have to's into I want to and I would love to. Then we have the 5 of feathers, as well as the magician. So I can see here that one thing that you really need to hear right now is just the fact that within the magician, you have those same qualities of being able to pick a little something that you need out of different corners of yourself when necessary. And you may think to yourself, Vanessa, like, what are you talking about? So let me explain group number 1. For instance, if you're in a social situation, and this social situation is one where you're dealing with people that you usually would not deal with, you go to that little corner of your mind, of yourself, that says, okay, etiquette for people that I usually would not deal with. And you take that book out, you take volume 1 through 10 out, and you quickly just freshen up your knowledge, and you already know how to be a part of the situation. You know exactly what to do, what not to do, and you can kind of like mingle and be a part of the conversation still, even though it's not your usual thing. So being able to be very flexible, that is something that I see you having like as an attribute. That is one thing that I see is really cool about you. But sometimes when you underestimate just how flexible you can be, you can get in your own way a lot of the times, group number 1, which is another thing that I see you needing to be called out on. And I don't mean this to like make you feel uncomfortable, but sometimes you just have to be real with yourself. As I can see here in the 5 of feathers, that getting in your own way is something that is almost like a self-destruction strategy, and you have to look at that. You have to work on that pattern. That is one thing that I want you to know in correlation to the never-ending story, because your guides, the universe, would like you to live life with less friction and less situations that are stopping you from that huge unlimited abundance that we know you can attract and have in your life. Then we have the 9 of feathers. So in the 9 of feathers, one thing that I can see here is self-empowerment is one thing that you're a boss at once you get into it. So group number 1, allow yourself to feel empowered, and also allow yourself to strive for positions that you may sometimes feel a little bit scared to strive for. So maybe, for instance, you're a female and you want to get into an executive position, but it's never been done by a female before, and that may be intimidating, but remind yourself of who you are, group number 1. You're meant to succeed. You're meant to be strong. You're meant to empower yourself and change people's perspective. Then we have the 4 of acorns. So one thing that I can see that you really need to hear is the fact that your community supports you 100%. Sometimes I see you feel alone, you're in situations where you feel as though your community maybe does not 100% have your back, but I see that when push comes to shove, especially with the whole inequality, be it, you know, due to gender, due to race, due to skin color, whatever the inequality is, I definitely see here that there's a lot more support within the community that you reside in, as well as comfort. But you can only really experience it once you speak up and once the situation comes to that push to shove place, which is where in Come to the Edge, you know, you would have to first take the leap in order to experience it. Without taking the leap, you're not gonna know. Then we have the ever unfolding rose as well as dance. So I can see here, group number one, that things are happening for you, not to you. That is a very important motto for you, that your guides and the universe, just the vibrations that I get from your reading, want you to know. And in correlation to dance, I see here that sometimes you can kind of be on this vibration of feeling like things are happening to you and not for you. Like, for instance, why did this person speak to me in this not very nice way? Or why am I getting this bill? Why am I the unlucky one in this game, or this game of life even? So those may be some thoughts that circulate through your mind, but I can see here in dance that what you really need to hear is that doing something to shift your vibration can help you with all of that. It can help you rebalance yourself as well as your thoughts, and bring you into a situation where you have more control over your thoughts and you're in less of a pessimistic place. And trust me, being a relentless optimist is actually scientifically proven to give you a better, healthier, longer life than if you're pessimistic or just somebody who is always kind of very doubtful, if you will. So while we do talk about a lot of things that have yet to be proven scientifically, that is just one piece of information that you need to hear and that you need to embrace. So group number one, this is the reading that I received for you. If you enjoyed it, leave a little raven emoji. Is there a raven emoji in the emojis? Well, a raven emoji, or just overall a bird emoji, down below in the description box. No. Down below in the comment section is a little token of good luck, and wherever you are in this world, group number one, I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you're staying safe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Angel Aura, group number two, which is such a fabulous, gorgeous crystal. Can you see how it just glistens in every color of the rainbow, depending on how the light hits it? I absolutely love these. I will leave a little link for these down below in the description box. I actually carry these in my online store, so I just wanted to let you know, because I know a lot of you are fascinated with the Angel Aura and want to know where to get a good quality piece of your own. So that will be linked down below. But let's move into your reading in order to figure out exactly what you need to know and what you need to hear right now. So we have protection as well as don't dim to fit in. So one thing that I can see that just kind of like is screaming from out of your cards, from your reading, is the fact that you should not under any circumstances dim your light, dim who you are in order to fit in, when instead you should be protecting everything that makes you unique. So if you've, for instance, been bullied about the texture of your hair, the color of your skin, the way you speak, the way you do things, just who you are as a person, your height, your size. I mean, people find everything under the sun to ridicule others about. I just want you to know that you should continue to embrace yourself. This is a message that you need to hear, and this is something that the universe has picked up from your vibration that is important for you to know and to just get reassurance of, because sometimes we can get into a state where we feel like, am I maybe really not that cute? Or is there maybe really something wrong with me, or wrong with my face, my attitude? And we can start to question ourselves, but that is actually shows like what a healthy and well-functioning human being that you are. Because if you were somebody who was, for instance, a complete narcissist, you would not even think that you could be wrong, okay? So allow that to just be the sign that you need, that no, you're not crazy and there's nothing wrong with you, group number 2. Then we have go the distance. So one thing that I can see here is that you're supposed to go the extra mile, and why you need to hear this is because sometimes we're so close to the finish line, and that's when we feel like giving up. That's when we feel like, I'll just give up on this project, on love, on getting the promotion, on starting my own business, on living my dream life, when it's actually just around the corner and you're literally about to peek your head around the corner. And often when we feel like giving up the most, we're actually the closest, and it's that last hurdle before success. And that is exactly what you need to hear right now. Then we have chaos and conflict. So group number 2, one thing that I can see here in chaos and conflict is just the fact that you have to be a little flexible, and you have to be okay with the fact that there is some chaos coming towards you, okay? And chaos can either turn into something where you become very creative, where you allow your creative juices to flow in order to find solutions. But in chaos and conflict, I can see here that letting your emotions get the best of you, or allowing yourself to be kind of diminished in who you are just to please other people, that is just going to cause internal conflict for you. So an important message for you to hear is to be flexible when it comes to projects, when it comes to how you do life, but be inflexible when it comes to compromising who you are, okay? That is something completely different. Don't feel like you have to be flexible in making yourself feel bad just to allow somebody else to feel bigger and better and stronger. That's not how it works. And then in the 3 of Shells, I see here, it's okay for you to have fun. So while there are a lot of crazy things going on in the world, there are a lot of movements going on right now that are very necessary, and you know, this is not funny, this is nothing playful, and that's where the 3 of Shells comes into play, where you need to remind yourself and remember that you can still have fun. Just because the world is going through some things that are very, how should I say, that we've never been through before, let's just put it that way. I mean, this is like a very historic year, a very historic moment that we're going through. So be a part of the movement, engage with the movement, support the movements that you support. I find that to be incredibly important, but you also need balance, group number 2. You can't just constantly be on the front line. Sometimes you just need to have some good old lighthearted fun so that everything doesn't just seem so heavy and as if it's closing in on you, if you know what I mean. Then we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about finding focus when it's necessary, not every single waking moment, okay? So I want you to know in the Emperor that you have enough time to focus, for instance, on the BLM movement, on the crises that are going on all over the planet, and just furthermore, environmental causes. You have time to focus on that, and you have time to make an impact there. But you have to plan ahead in order to be the most successful and kind of like make the most of your time and your engagement. Plan ahead, schedule it into your calendar when you're going to invest an hour or a day with a cause that makes you feel like you're actually contributing to change, like you're actually contributing to making this world a better place, group number 2. So schedule it in for yourself. Then we have the Ace of Acorns. I see here that one thing that you need to hear and need to know is that you are a big creative force that just has more confidence available than you may think. So you may sometimes enter a room and slouch a little bit or get a little insecure when people who you don't know are looking at you. You may ask yourself whether they're judging you or not, but one thing that I can see here is that that is like learned behavior. Of course, you were not born like that. One thing that I do see here in the Ace of Acorns is just allowing yourself to be a little bit more creative with day-to-day life can give you more confidence. So being creative as in entering a room and saying to yourself, for instance, okay, what if people were thinking the kindest things of me? How would I enter the room then? And using these little creative and fun ideas in order to just make every day a little better, in order to just make every day a little bit more tall and proud and loud, and for you to just be happy to be where you are and happy to be who you are without allowing anybody to make you feel otherwise. Then we have the Shaman. So one thing that I can see here in the Shaman is just the fact that your divine wisdom and spiritual power is really coming to a point where it's showing. So you're having different days and moments of enlightenment. Things happen in your life where you just know this is no coincidence. This is something that I can feel in my bones, that I can feel in every fiber of my being was meant to be, and I'm going to see it through. I'm going to see what's going on with it. Then we have a leg up as well as imagine. So I see that you're here watching this reading for a reason, and it's all because you're meant to have a leg up. You're meant to already be a little bit ahead when it comes to your spiritual healing abilities and purpose. And I want you to know here and imagine that everything that you have thought might be a part of your journey, might be a part of who you are, is most likely already there, is most likely already something that you're doing. So if you've always felt as though you're a healer, a giver, somebody who is meant to teach other people, you have most likely already been doing it in one way or another. You just need to think a little bit of what your everyday interactions look like. Then we have to the sea as well as the thinker. So what you need to urgently hear right now, something that you need to know, is just the fact that taking a little bit of time to grow into this new role is one thing that you shouldn't feel bad about. Okay, in the thinker, we have the number 44, which is a number that equates to work and stability. So work does need to be done right now. And that is maybe not what you wanted to hear, but it's what you need to hear, group number 2. And I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just letting you know here in To the Sea that there's a lot of kind of revelations that you can come to if you allow yourself to come to those points by engaging in deep thought as well as being by yourself. So while you have playful interactions and you're having fun and you're not feeling guilty about it, which is very important, the not feeling guilty aspect, you're also taking time for self-reflection as well as journaling, writing down your thoughts and keeping track of those thoughts, okay? Because those will allow you to truly just see the process from not even realizing that you may be a shaman, that you may have these types of healing abilities. Maybe you're meant to be a reader yourself. It will really just show you from the beginning of how that journey felt till you actually get to the point where you're full-blown healing, where you're a full-blown healer and you understand every little ounce of your purpose in this lifetime. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful. If you made it to the end of your reading, leave a little bear emoji down below, as we do have these 2 cute little polar bears here and a leg up. And wherever you are in this world, I hope you're staying safe and doing amazing, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 3 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst, and one reason why you may have chosen this stone, not just because it is gorgeous, but also because it is a stone that helps increase your psychic abilities as well as just stimulate your third eye chakra. But I want to move into your reading in order to figure out exactly what messages that you need to hear and know of right now. We have the Mintaken as well as Get Grounded. So one thing that I can see here in the Mintaken is group number 3, if you've ever had the feeling of kind of longing for home, not quite knowing what home is, where you belong, you may just be a Mintaken. You may just be one of the original light workers. You may just be a starseed. You may be one of these creatures that have just been on such a journey, and a lot of them are still on a journey to just finding home, finding a place where they belong, but knowing that it may be very far away. And Get Grounded, I see here that at the same time you may be an empath, you may be somebody who is highly sensitive. And group number 3, if you have for instance been seeing very disturbing content, such as, you know, the content that I've been seeing online when it comes to the injustice that is going on, all of the kind of world's issues that we have all boiling in this big pot that is the news and the media, you may be so sensitive that it makes you cry, it makes you angry, it actually affects your mood. That is one indication of being a highly sensitive empath, of being somebody who is able to connect with other people's emotions and feel what they feel. So when somebody else goes through something, it's almost like you're going through it too. And I want you to know here that that is a gift, but at the same time, you have to learn to protect yourself. because you can't always feel all the feels of the world, because that will just make you very tired, that will just drain you, and it may make you very depressed and cause mood swings. So if you've been having mood swings, or you've just kind of been feeling down, out, and drained, know that maybe you've been flexing that empath muscle a little too much, group number 3. Then we have leap as well as share your voice. So one thing that I can see here is that one thing that would make a lot of sense for you to do is just to leap into one specific topic that you're very passionate about. So if you're very passionate about, for instance, you know, animals and advocating for them, the environment, or for instance, the current BLM movement, other types of movements that have to do with humanitarian type of activism, I want you to share your voice. I want you to come out of your cave, come out of hiding, and allow the world to know what your opinion is and what you're going to do in order to help, okay? That is a message that you need to hear. It's okay for you to pick and choose. You should not spread yourself too thin. Just because you're focusing on one thing doesn't mean that you don't care about another. And it also doesn't mean that you can't still switch to another cause at any point in time, group number 3. Don't allow people who are just here to judge, who are just here to have a big mouth but actually not take any action, to make you feel as though you're doing something the wrong way. You're not, okay? Different movements need different types of attention at different points in time. It's completely fine for you to focus on certain movements when it is available to you and when you feel like it's also healthy, because some of these movements, it can be draining to be on the internet every single day and just consuming content that is hard to watch, especially if you're an empath. Then we have Between Worlds, as well as the Unfinished Symphony. So one thing that I can see here is that your higher self is trying to communicate to you that you're still in a space where you're not completely done your transition. As you can see here in Between Worlds, what we have is this new kind of colorful plane and this old gray one right here. So you're still in between this transition. You haven't quite made it over to this side. You're still in between worlds. And what your guides want you to focus on, we have the number 3. So in numerology, that stands for playfulness, that stands for fun, that stands for partying, instead of focusing on scarcity, okay? So focus on the fun aspect, focus on the fun parts of transformation, and don't be so hard on yourself. Don't rush yourself when it comes to this. Then we have chaos and conflict. So I can see here that you may feel very conflicted or feel as though things are very chaotic on the inside when you think about what home really means to you and where you really belong, what the meaning of life is to you, okay? But I want you to see this as an opportunity to expand your thinking and not to stress yourself out, group number 3. If you are a chronic stressor, this is not what you should be dealing with right now. This is not a topic that you should be dissecting unless you're able to get your emotions under control. You don't have to add one more thing to your plate of everything that's going on right now. We have happy. So at the end of the day, group number 3, we have happy emotions coming towards you. We have happiness, fulfillment, and most likely also balance, because a telling factor of balance is feeling happy, is feeling content, and feeling as though you're able to take on new things in life and not just feeling overwhelmed and depleted and tired. So know here that that is not something that you're going to be worrying about for a long time. This chaos and conflict, or just feeling tired, you're coming to a place where you just feel kind of happy and grateful to be here. Then we have temperance. So in temperance, we have balance and harmony, and in the high priestess, we have your intuition. So I see here that you need to hear a message that you really need to know of right now is the fact that your intuition is speaking volumes. And of course, you have to act on logic, you have to act according to what is right, but sometimes following your intuition is the best idea when you have two choices, okay? So I want you to know here in temperance that in order to be in harmony with yourself, with your soul, you have to follow your intuition sometimes above all, because often we do what we feel like we should be doing instead of what our intuition is telling us to do, but we end up regretting it. We end up saying, oh, if only I would have followed my gut feeling, or if only I would have followed my dream. And often we don't realize that the dream is represented in a gut feeling. So listen to your intuition and that sacred knowledge that your human body has come with. Then we have the Chariot. So in the Chariot, I see here determination to get things done. A message that you need to hear is just the fact that you may need a little bit more discipline. You may need to discipline yourself, be a little tough on yourself at times. And then in the Star, I see that that is in the end going to bring you a lot of peace, okay? So sometimes we can be hard on ourselves, but sometimes we can also be a little too easy on ourselves. Group number 3, we can say, oh, well, shouldn't be too hard on myself. I should do some self-care. And sometimes self-care can be an excuse for behavior that we know we shouldn't be exerting, like for instance, eating a whole cake at once, or not getting our work done before the deadline and keeping everything, procrastinating everything down till the last second. And the excuse is, well, you know, self-care, mental health day. And while we sometimes do need that, group number 3, we also need to be able to discern between when we need that discipline, when we need that old-fashioned kick in the butt, that old-fashioned get things done attitude no matter what, even if I need to stay up till 3 a.m. And that is one thing that I see that you need to hear and that you need to be kind of like motivated by. So I hope that this reading could really give you some motivation. Leave a little rhino emoji down below if you felt like this connected to your situation and if it resonated, also just as a token of good luck. And furthermore, group number 3, I hope you're having an amazing day or night, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Ocean Calcite, group number 4, which is a very special type of calcite. It just has this beautiful shade of blue. Oh, let me get it to focus. Hello. Oh, there we go. This beautiful blue shade. And it's just such a very decorative stone to have around. So I absolutely love this stone. It is also a stone that helps calm you, which may be exactly why you chose it. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what messages that you urgently need to hear right now. We have the initiation as well as the crumbling. So one thing that I can see is that you need to be honest with yourself, group number 4, okay? You need to be honest with yourself about what it is that you're maybe holding on to that needs to be let go of. That is what I see here in the crumbling. And in correlation to the Ocean Calcite, you know, uneasy emotions and emotions that are all over the place, just not having any control over your emotions, being very hot-headed, hot-tempered, that can cause you to cling on to things and to not allow things to naturally progress. But fear is another thing that may cause this type of reaction. I see here in the initiation that it may have to do with the fact that you know your life is not going to be the same anymore, that things are changing, things are moving into a new direction. Maybe things are getting very real. Maybe you're starting your own business, starting a family, thinking of settling down in a way how you, of course, don't want to make a mistake. And I see here that you're somewhat afraid also of leaving who you knew behind, because you understand that you're going through very transformational stages in your life right now. We have soulmates as well as a fork in the road. So in soulmates, one thing that I can see here is just the fact that the possibility for a twin flame, a soulmate, is something that is very high. Your soulmate is more or less like near your life or in the vicinity and ready for you to be with them, ready for you to spend time with them. I can see in correlation to the crumbling that if there is a connection here, if there is a situationship around you, group number 4, and you feel as though you never know what the person is thinking, you feel like you're just kind of being pushed around or not being treated the way you would like to be treated, that is where in the crumbling you have to let go of that, because it is not the true soulmate. As I can see here in the fork in the road, you have to decide whether you're just going to tell yourself that this person is a soulmate and try and make it work like that, or whether you're going to be completely honest with yourself and take a different route, take a different direction, even if that means that you have to let go of a connection in your life. Then we have answer the call. So I see here that that your soul has been kind of nagging on you to make a choice, to answer the call, to answer something that has been within you, a feeling that you've been having where you maybe thought to yourself, oh, I really wish I could quit my job, or I really wish that I could just move on with life already and not have to deal with the things I'm dealing with. And I see here that you have to finally answer the call, okay? You cannot forever go to a job that you don't like or study something that isn't really you, but just what your parents or your family expects. Another thing that you of course cannot continue to put up with is people putting you down and treating you in a way that they shouldn't be treating you. And a message that you really need to hear is to just listen to what it is that your intuition is calling you to do, what it is that your soul is telling you to do. If that is leave the job, leave the abusive situation, follow it. Then we have unbound. So you're definitely seeking freedom. You're definitely seeking that liberation. I can see here in unbound that you're kind of like releasing old soul patterns. You're releasing karma, like debt, if you will, that you've been carrying around for such a long time. So if you believe in reincarnation, then you may know that, you know, there's almost like this debt that we go through in all of the human lives that we're given, and we're meant to stay here in this body that you and I are in until we have fulfilled our purpose, and we're not supposed to leave before we have done so. So I can see here that you're definitely putting in a lot of work. You're doing a lot of work for your current soul, for the current body that you're in, the current vehicle that you've been given. And I can see here that you're just releasing karma, releasing any kind of karmic debt, karmic friction, if you will. Then we have a time for a nap, as well as here and now. So group number 4, you may really love this news. In time for a nap, of course, it's all about recuperation, it's all about regeneration, and you just giving yourself time to sleep, to nap, to rest, because right here and right now, there's not that much you can do. I mean, of course, you can always do a little bit more work, but sometimes just take a little bit of time to recuperate. Just remind yourself you can't do everything at once. You can't do everything in one go. You need sleep, you need rest, and you may be saying to your screen right now, girl, I've been resting all year, all 2020. But I just want you to know that sometimes people need months of extra rest to recuperate from a traumatic event, or to recuperate from just having expended all their energy at a certain job or a certain academic path. So don't discriminate, okay? Don't feel like you're lazy just because you need naps, just because you need more sleep or more rest. Everybody is different, and you have the right to take that time to rest should you need it. Then we have the Hermit, as well as the Page of Acorns. So in the Hermit, one thing that I can see here is just you being the very wise one when it comes to your relationship with your soulmate or your twin flame. As I can see here in the Page of Acorns, that person most likely has fire sign placements within their chart. But I also see here that they're very fun, enthusiastic, but at the same time they can be naive. So you're the mature one, you're the one who has wisdom, you're the one who always gives the good advice in the relationship. Then we have the 5 of Acorns, as well as the 3 of Acorns. And just so you know, group number 4, the suit of Acorns corresponds to the suit of Wands, which is the suit that corresponds to fire signs, as well as just all things that you're passionate about, really. Then in the 3 of Acorns, what I need to say to you, what you need to hear, is the fact that you have to plan things a little bit in advance right now. So be it, for instance, an outing, be it just wanting a specific item, pre-order it, make sure that you get it now, otherwise it will be gone. The same goes for, as I said, like opportunities and experiences. Book it now. Things are moving quickly in the realms of this, what you desire. Then in the 5 of Acorns, I want you to know here that there is challenge coming your way, group number 4. And I would be a liar to say that, you know, everything is just going to flow easily and just go with it and so on and so forth. that works sometimes, but sometimes you also just need to kind of man up, okay? You need to woman up. You just need to stand up for yourself, grow a pair, if you will, and allow yourself to grow from experiences. Allow yourself to go through challenging times, reminding yourself that every time you've been through something super challenging that you didn't know if you would be able to do, you ended up doing it. You ended up being able to make it work, and you just grew so much from it. You got so much more brave. It just contributed so much more to who you are today than when things were easy, when things were simple. The biggest growth that happens is usually when we're going through a tough and rough time. So be thankful for challenges, be thankful for the fact that things are coming towards you that are going to give you another growth spurt and give you another kind of call to action that will allow you to be reminded of how strong, independent, and smart you truly are, group number 4. So if you made it all the way to the end of your reading, leave a little egg emoji down below. And furthermore, group number 4, I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you found this reading insightful and empowering, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.